Coming to you from Final Third Cigar and Whiskey Lounge in Ingalls, Indiana, Indiana's exclusive Aladino Cigar Lounge. It's the Final Third Podcast.
Welcome back to the Final Third Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Isaiah.
And today we're having an event with Calvin at Blackworks and Black Label Trading Company the day we're recording here. Calvin's going to be a little bit later, so if he gets on here, we'll have him on. Otherwise, we're going to be smoking the event-only cigar called the... What the heck was these things called again?
The box is called the Ambush.
The Ambush, yeah. So I'm smoking the Tiger Lily, I believe it is.
Yeah. So the box comes with, I think, 5 of each of these cigars?
4 of 2 and then 7 of the other.
Okay. So it has
total.
the Neon Tiger in there, the Con, and the Tiger Lily. And all of them have multiple wrappers on it and all a little bit of Candela. So I'll be interested to see how this goes. But I'm smoking the Con out of this box.
Yeah, and I got the Tiger Lily.
And they are beautiful.
They're really cool looking cigars. Yeah. So I'm excited to try it. I was hoping to have Calvin on here to talk a little bit more about it because I'm not sure what the blend is, but we're going to smoke it anyway.
Well, and today we're going to be drinking a new bottle to the bar. We've got Circle City Whiskey Company's straight bourbon whiskey bottled in bond. This is an Indiana product aged 4 years at 100 proof. It is a 75-21-4 mash bill for all you guys that want to know, but just letting you know
what it is.
It's MGP.
It's MGP.
And it's good MGP.
Yeah, and so if you have probably been hearing a little bit more about Circle City as they've gotten started here, they're doing all, so far at least, they're doing all either blending or they're going to be doing, barrels of sourced product. So far, they've gotten stuff from MGP, from Watershed, from Pennington. I believe they've got some stuff from Heaven Hill and BBC right now too. But they're not going to be just sourcing one. They're going to be sourcing from multiple sources, which is great. It'll be fun to see what they come up with.
So I would tell you, I just V-cut this, and I was a little bit nervous about it because it's got so many different layers and everything, and it also had a pigtail. But this cigar held up really well.
Good.
To the deep V.
And I just did it straight on mine because mine didn't have the pigtail. And
yeah.
It's got a nice little cold draw on it already.
I'm having trouble with a cold draw because mine has a closed foot.
Oh, okay.
Completely closed.
Nice.
So.
I should have picked that one then,
What are you getting, Rob?
What am I getting?
Yeah.
It's kind of a fig kind of thing going.
Okay.
Hay and fig, just a little bit of sweetness, not as sweet. It's more the fig cookie.
Yeah, I mean, just smelling the outside of this cigar, I could see that. It also does have some of the, I would say more like alfalfa hay notes that I would expect of something that has Candela in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to nose the whiskey first before we get into this?
I can nose it. Yeah, that's just Indiana.
Yeah, I mean it's got a nice light fruit nose.
Yeah, it leans a little bit into those floral qualities. There's some honey in there. Also a little bit of spice you can smell.
Yeah, just subtle though. Not like a hot spice, more like a baking spice.
Yeah.
It smells delicious.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's a great bottled in bond.
It really is good.
And there are quite a few bottled in bonds coming out from other places that are also using Indiana. This is way better than that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I mean, I know Drew Black, which is the founder of Circle City. He really has done a good job of picking barrels for everything he's done so far. And like if you remember the one that Dirk Fence did, Indiana Bourbon, his last release for the Durham family, it was a Circle City bottle, and it was a bottle that actually had won several awards.
Yeah.
And it was delicious too. So he's doing something right. So I'm excited to see how he continues.
So I actually, after our last show, ended up getting one of these Calibri Julius,
They're
and
so cool.
that's the soft flame from Calibri, and I am so shocked at how much I like it.
I am too.
I have been using it so much.
I was exactly the same way. I'm like, oh, this will be fun to try and just get people to see how. Nope, I love the thing. I use it almost all the time unless I'm outside.
I was even using it outside last night. I had I was burning cardboard out in the yard and smoking a cigar. Burn up some cardboard and some 2x4s, and it was great. But it's such a the soft flame is really nice. It's a lot more gentle.
It is.
It feels a lot more controlled. Now when
You don't get that accidental overchar at the beginning.
no, now it is hard to do touch-ups with.
It is.
That's my only thing. But normally my cigars are either humidified to the point where I don't need to do touch-ups, or I've just done a good enough job up front lighting it. So
Yeah.
and I don't smoke crap cigars.
No. And this cigar is starting off really nice too.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be, an asshole and get on my phone real quick for a second.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and finish what you were saying, so I can send this text.
But no, this Julius is fantastic. It has a dual flame that comes out of it, and I was using it last night around a fire. Fantastic. It worked just fine. I did try and use it around a pool on Sunday, because if you're not smoking cigars in the pool, you haven't been to the pool. And it was a little bit too windy for that. Luckily, I also had my my other Calibri, which is whatever that triple jet is that I have from them.
Not the Ascari. That's one I have. You have the that.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I've talked about it before, and it's still a fantastic triple jet. That being said, I did have to use the warranty, but the warranty is perfect. And switched it out the day, on the day when I was here.
Yeah. You had one of the jets fail.
Yeah. I think, honestly, it had probably been dropped a couple too many times.
Possibly.
Because that's how lighters go. And I also use them at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So definitely got my money's worth, and I'm still getting my money's worth out of that lighter.
Yep.
Gotta love it. What are you getting on this cigar, Rob?
I'm really liking this cigar. I've not found any barber pulls I've ever smoked that I've enjoyed. This one has good flavor. The baking spices, getting a little bit of spice on the nose on the retrohale, but not a ton. I'm not getting any of the green grassiness out of the little bit of candela that's on this one. I don't know. It's really good. Right now it's smoking like a Habano for me.
Oh,
A lot of those Habano spices,
Yeah.
which makes sense because looks like it's got more Habano than anything else on it. But it's smoking great right now.
this is smoking a lot more full bodied.
Okay.
For me. It's more in that medium to full range. Has a lot of, I'd almost call it red pepper, or maybe it's even inching on to like that wasabi sort of pepper. Like, it is spicy, and it doesn't quite have the flavor of red pepper, but it has the spice of red pepper.
Nice.
But I think that the candela almost vegetal note is playing with me, thinking that it's like a wasabi in the retrohale.
Could be.
But yeah, I am really enjoying this.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm liking it too. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the same blend with just different wrappers on it or what, but I guess we'll find out one of these days.
And for you guys that say, "Oh, why don't you do research before you smoke them?" These are event-only cigars. I've never seen them.
Well, and full disclosure, we were going to have Calvin on the show with us today, he's running an hour or two behind, so we're not going to be able to have him on the show.
Yeah.
So otherwise, that we were going to ask him about that.
If I didn't have a life or a wedding coming up this week, we would have been able to make it work. But alas, there is somebody at my house that is bossing me around already.
Yeah, she's just getting into her full wife mode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Yeah, so when this actually broadcasts, it will be 5 days to your wedding.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. We're getting
coming
there.
up fast. Coming up fast.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. But there's a lot of things to get done.
Oh yeah,
still
there always is.
Yeah.
Just remember, don't sweat the small stuff, and just realize that after Saturday it's over, and it's not worth fighting over. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I'm not a petty sort of guy. So
have you learned the magic word yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Yeah.
But that only works if you follow through with the yes, dear. Do what she says.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is a struggle.
Well, I'll try and remember that.
Yeah, you should. You should. Yeah, so we had something really funky happen, and it stressed me the hell out bad. On Thursday, Square System, which is a point of sale system, went down worldwide, and then the things that were attached to that weren't working were Cash App, Venmo, some Visa, Zelle, and several others. And so when you're a small business, not a lot of people carry cash.
Yeah,
and that was the only way we could sell. Luckily,
I don't regularly carry cash.
No. So I don't know, who knows how many sales we lost that day. And I know, a lot of restaurants around here had the same issue because they use the same system. And
Which, if you don't know, it is an industry standard system.
Yeah, I mean, you have Toast, you have Clover, and you have Square. Those are probably the three big ones.
Yeah.
We are thinking about looking at some other ones, that's for sure, right now with this mess. But so, I got an alert on my phone. Someone had posted on Twitter about it, so I was looking up and just
You mean
watching
X?
all X now, yeah, X. And it was just weird, seeing thousands and thousands and thousands of posts about this. And someone had posted that they were doing a class action suit was going. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna at least post about it, just so that my name's in the running. People will see it on Twitter if they go back and look at all that. X, not Twitter. If they go back and look at that, I'm there. It's just more just to put it out there. Well, it went kind of crazy. It went kind of worldwide, and there's
Rob went viral.
It went
over
viral
nothing.
over nothing, basically just complaining, which I guess that's kind of what social media is all about.
I guess. Yeah. So
But-
tell the people how viral.
Yeah, so the Australians woke up to this mess happening to them right in the first thing in the morning, and the news services over there were posting out, a few of the tweets were out. For some reason, mine was one of the 4 or 5 tweets on their news sites showing up. So I started getting all these messages from people. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then Fred, my buddy up in at Nelson Legausto's in Pittsburgh, said, dude, look at this graphic. And it was that graphic from Australia. I'm like, what the heck? So it was just kind of funny, and it seemed like we had a lot of traction on that tweet. I'm like, that's kind of cool, and went to bed, and we were just hoping that the system would be back up the next morning. And luckily, when we woke up, it was.
Yeah.
So we were happy about that. Then I get a email at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't respond till noon because I don't usually get on my emails until I get here. And it was a reporter from the Wall Street Journal wanting me to do an interview on the whole Square outage. And I'm like, what the hell is going on in this world? But they never did call me back. So.
I guess you should. I get you can't call it tweet anymore. I guess you should post on X more often.
I guess so.
Why would they call it X? That just sounds like a porn site.
It does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am glad that it's no longer tweets and it's posts now. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Tweets were kind of goofy, but oh well. So yeah, that was my Thursday. It was a mess, and it really screwed with sales that day. I mean, it really sucked, but it is what it is. Hopefully we're past it and it doesn't happen again. But what a mess, man.
That's crazy. Also, like I said, just the most odd way to go viral.
Oh, isn't that weird?
Like,
Yeah.
just in
Yeah.
Australia.
In Australia. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
And I mean, that was seriously, it was down worldwide. And that's
Yeah.
that. I mean, it makes me think, and I would love, and maybe more stuff will start coming out the more we get into this, but I feel like it was just bigger than just an outage.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be some kind of either a terrorist threat or test, or I don't know, something big. It just does not seem like a normal thing to happen when your
Yeah, yeah.
system goes down like that.
So,
And to be tied with so many other systems going down, it
Yeah.
seemed weird.
so that I mean, hang on, I gotta do this.
Conspiracy theory, yes, I know.
Yeah. So, I think it was in 2020, Christmas of 2020, or maybe it was the couple days surrounding it. There was a bomb that went off in Nashville, like Nashville, Tennessee.
I
Downtown.
remember that. Yeah.
And nothing about it made sense.
Nope.
Not a
That
single
was the one
bit.
in the in the truck.
It
around
was
the
in a
road.
camper van.
Yeah.
And it had sirens telling people to evacuate. So actually a lot of people got out, but it blew up 3 buildings,
Yeah.
or maybe even more than that. And then just suddenly they figured out who did it super quickly, all of these things, and nobody could figure out why.
Yeah.
Well, one of the buildings, I'm pretty sure, was tied in with AT&T, and there was a lot of cell service that went down that day.
Someone was pissed off with their AT&T bill.
That'd be a pretty good way to get back at
You
them.
bastards.
But no, I mean you can't stop but think what in AT&T went down because of that bomb that allowed something else to get through.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of this stuff is really, really geared more towards a bigger picture thing than what we realize. I mean, if you look at some like some of the movies out there, when you start seeing the movies and that, you know, a big bomb goes off, like I don't know if you ever watched the it was one of the newer Star Trek movies.
No, I don't watch bad movies.
Oh, they're great movies. Don't even go there. But what they did was that they blew up this building, which was supposedly only like an archive. We'll come to find out it was actually something else underneath it too. And it's like that's what it always seems like. He's like, yeah, they may blow up something that doesn't seem like much to Americans, but it probably is. So,
Well, and then the other thing is, especially with like Square going down, how many people did that affect, and also what caused it to go down for so long?
right.
It could have been that everybody's information was accessed or something like that, because Square collects your credit card data,
And that was
is
one of
what that's what they do.
That was another post I saw out there. There was a massive data breach that day in North America, and it was massive. So my thought was it's probably tied to that. But my problem with the whole thing was they weren't telling anybody what was going on. They literally shut down their customer service line. I called them and said, we've had an unexpected closure today. And that was how they were letting people know when they called them. I'm like, at least put on there saying, we don't know what's going on. We're trying to figure it out. We will let you know. Stay posted. No,
my gosh.
unexpected closure.
They did that so that their customer service people wouldn't run their mouth and tell people exactly what's happening.
Yeah. I just felt like maybe they got hacked. And when you get hacked, not only is your hack based on just your data, but it's also affecting your computer operated phone system and everything else.
Yeah.
I just have a feeling maybe there was a hack and they just haven't reported it yet. Damn Russians.
Yeah. I was watching, I think it's called How to Fix a Drug Scandal on Netflix. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
So it's about these two, it really focuses on one, she's an evidence lab chemist or something like that. Basically what she does is she tests drugs that come in evidence and just say, yeah, this is meth. No, somebody sold you baking soda.
Yeah. Yeah.
And basically helps for convictions and stuff like that. Well, this lady was skimming drugs off of it and doing drugs for like 10 plus years.
Jeez.
Yeah. And nobody caught her. And there were just no checks and balances in place. These chemists weren't even being drug tested. Like, these people are dealing in heroin and methamphetamine and crack and cocaine. This lady literally admitted to making crack in the lab.
Nice.
Like,
And that'd be a good
but
question.
the DA's office tried to cover it up, like the extent of what she did.
Really?
And eventually, like, the whole thing is, again, it's the Netflix regime of like, don't trust the government, but like, I actually believe that. Don't do it.
Yeah.
But there was a couple like grassroots lawyers that were like, hey, we have people convicted because of her, and we don't even know if she was of sound mind when she did these reports.
Right.
And turns out she was high from day one.
Yeah. So you can't take anything that she put out there to.
No,
has to all be
there were
thrown
like
out.
30,000 cases that
So
had
how
to be
many-
thrown out.
How many of those people that went to prison based on her findings just were let go? They'd have to be, and if they're not, they should be fighting the hell out of
You
her
see,
right
the
now.
problem is she was convicted in 2013 and she served a 2-year sentence, and they had said that she had only been addicted for like 6 months at that point. The DA's office somehow found out a way to say that, and they covered up a lot of paperwork that they found in her car that would
In her
indicate.
car.
Yeah, I mean,
No one will find it here. We'll hide it in my car.
no, she wasn't worried about it. She was high. She just had papers everywhere. But she had, she was seeing an addiction counselor, and she had paper going back a long
Oh,
time.
jeez.
And the DA's office covered it up and didn't give it to the other lawyers on the trial. I don't know. I am no lawyer.
Okay, I have an issue with this though. If that addiction counselor fed information to the government about her, that should be illegal too, because that should be a client privilege thing going there.
No. So they found these papers, and eventually,
They found. Oh, you're right.
They
They
found
found
the
the papers.
papers.
They didn't.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in 2015, I think it was late 2015, she finished her 18-month sentence. And these two grassroots lawyers collected enough evidence from what they found in her car to get her addiction counselor subpoenaed.
Oh wow.
And they even said in the Netflix special, like, we are sad that all of this has to come to light, but there
Yeah.
are people with drug sentences that shouldn't have them right now. And in fact, most of the people had already served their sentences.
Wow.
So they're just trying to get it off their record at this point, because it wasn't until I think 2018.
But get it off
that
your
they-
record's one thing, but being compensated for basically the rest of your life being screwed up because you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
were obviously taking drugs
Yep.
to be there.
Well, that's debatable. That's debatable. All I'm saying is in our law system, if you cannot prove without a shadow of a doubt that the person has committed the crime, they do not deserve to go into prison.
Exactly.
If the person who is testing the supposed drugs that you have is on drugs, it does not work.
Yeah, and all those people are coming back with massive lawsuits. I mean, if you're sitting in prison for a couple years based on someone that just got thrown in prison themselves for testing you, I would think that would be worth a buttload of money.
Oh, I'd imagine. I'd
Man.
imagine. But they can
Wow.
they can sue Massachusetts.
Yep. Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the words.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Schnitzel bitches.
Yeah.
Schnitzel bitches. yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of wild.
But it is a really interesting a super interesting watch on Netflix. How to Fix a Drug Scandal.
I'll have to check it out.
I think it came out in 2020. But yeah,
That's wild. I'll have to check it out.
I
get into
always
some of that stuff.
love the government conspiracy shows.
God.
But they ended up with 2 convictions from the lawyers from the DA's office.
Oh, wow.
Because they withheld evidence and misled a judge.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now you're talking perjury.
So now the DA that was serving at that time is she works for Juul.
Nice, another dying industry.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that'd be a good question because I mean, like we have a couple of people that come in here quite a bit that work for Lilly. It'd be interesting to find out that company. I'm assuming probably drug tester people, even though a lot of their drugs, are not those type of drugs, but a lot of them are. So
Hey Chris, do you get drug tested for Lilly? You
can. So yeah, so it's on the table at all
like
points.
a lot of companies will do like every 2 years and random.
It's just random, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Chris comes in high and they say, "Oh, we're going to test you today, buddy."
Don't say that.
No, Chris doesn't do that
We
stuff.
don't need to get him drug tested. That'll ruin an entire day's of work.
It would run a day. Nah,
But-
he likes bourbon, and that's it.
Yeah. But yeah, Lilly.
And mushroom. Wait, no.
Quit saying stuff.
I'm
You're gonna get him in
joking.
trouble.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Schnitzel, bitches.
Oh God, I'll tell you what, man. This whiskey with the cigar is good.
Yeah, it's really sweetening it up.
I feel like that. I mean, I know they had to proof it down to get to that 100 proof range, but it does not feel like it got proofed down. It's got all the flavor still.
Oh, and it still has a nice viscosity.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, I definitely am too. It is just I mean, I could see this as being what's the price point on it?
You can talk. I'll look it up.
I mean, at its flavor profile, you could do whatever cocktail you want to with it. It is a very good staple bourbon, and if the price point is reasonable enough, if I were to guess, I would hope it'd be around that $40 to $50 mark.
Yeah, I mean, $10 Porsche is probably around 40 bucks or so per bottle.
It's a well bottle
Yeah.
for your bar. You know?
I mean, if you're buying that at a store, depending on the store, you're probably somewhere between 40 and 50 bucks.
yeah. No, I
That's
mean,
great
you make
for 50
old fashions with that. You
Oh.
make Boulevardiers with that. I guess you could make Manhattans with it, though Manhattan's supposed to be a rye.
It should be a rye. Yeah.
A Gold Rush with that would be fantastic.
Oh, it would be.
Um,
So, Boulevardier.
Boulevardier is a Campari drink.
So, how do you make that?
So it's a stirred cocktail. It's bourbon, Campari, and bitters. And
Aromatic bitters?
yeah,
Okay.
Angostura.
So, it's
typically.
leaning towards that Manhattan kind of feel to it.
No,
No?
I mean Campari is it's an aperitif, so it is a bitter liqueur.
So, is that similar like a Fernet?
It is.
So, closer to maybe our Toronto than a
Yeah,
Manhattan?
it'd be a lot closer to the Toronto.
Okay.
But it is like my favorite last drink of the night thing, just because it calms your stomach, just because all that bitter and you don't hardly ever taste the bourbon in it.
Yeah.
Just because Campari is such I mean, first of all, it's sweet. Second, it's bitter. Like it just is, but it's a
Okay.
really nice sort of. It leans more medicinal like a Fernet,
Okay.
but
That's
it
interesting.
would not pair well with the cigar.
No, but I will say the Fernet in a Toronto does pair well with a cigar.
Yeah, well, it's
Because you're only
calmed
using
down enough.
you're only using
Yeah.
a quarter of an ounce
Yeah.
of Fernet in that anyway, plus the rye whiskey and the bitters and stuff. And
Yeah.
I love it. Actually, I've been having one of those as more of a closeout of the evening kind of things lately.
There is something really nice about cocktails to me that aren't just sweet, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of like just sweet cocktails. I have been.
And there's a place for those.
oh yeah. Yeah.
But I'm with you. I like them to be a little on the less sweet side.
I've been proud. I've gotten Victoria going on a cocktail called the Bee's Knees.
Yeah.
Which is 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounce of honey syrup and
Yeah.
3/4 ounce of lemon. You shake that.
They're good.
Any drink with citrus in it, if you shake it, it just adds a little bit of foam. Also, introduces some air to it. The lemon juice, the orange juice, whatever it is, lime juice will actually aerate in there. It just adds a different, more silky,
Sure.
mouthfeel. But she's been loving that, and
good.
she had been like a sweet margarita girl forever.
So she's only a couple steps away from starting to drink some bourbon with you.
Well, the
isn't she?
thing is you get into a bee's knees, and you're like just a liquor switch away from a gold rush.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and I do love a gold rush. In fact,
Gold Rushes
Fox
are
Garden
great.
has one of my favorite gold rushes.
And that's such a simple cocktail.
yeah,
I mean, that's all it is bourbon and honey syrup. And you could throw
and lemon.
and lemon. That's right.
Yeah.
Lemon's in that too. I forgot lemon was in that. I thought that one didn't have lemon.
Let me see to make sure.
I was thinking the Gold Rush didn't have lemon. I thought it was just honey and you could throw in like an orange zest or something if you want to. But I may be wrong.
Yeah.
I've only made them here for myself for fun, trying them. But even just the honey syrup and bourbon taste great together over
Yeah,
ice.
it's bourbon, lemon, and honey syrup.
So it is
and,
lemon, okay.
And that's the same specs: 2 ounces of bourbon, 3/4 ounce lemon, 3/4 ounce honey syrup. And if anyone's wondering,
That's got to be a sweet drink.
it's really not. The lemon cuts it down.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
In honey
acidity.
syrup, if you're gonna make it in a controlled manner, you'll do a 1-to-1
1-to-1, yeah.
on honey. And if you're just kind of freehanding it, basically all you're doing when you're making a honey syrup is adding enough hot water to thin it out so
Yeah.
that you can actually pour it and use it. One of the best apps for cocktails, if you're looking for like elevated cocktails, is called Bartender's Choice. It's available on the App Store. I think it's like $15.
Okay.
It's expensive, but literally you can go in here and say, my favorite tab is I feel like step 1 will take you through your spirits preference. So I can click bourbon.
No,
And-
dude, Bartender's Choice Volume 2 is $4.99.
Okay. Yeah. It's amazing.
That's cheap.
And then, so step 1, I chose bourbon. Let's say I want something that's fruity. I can click that. Step 3, I'll go boozy. What else do you like as step 4? And I would say egg. Let's see the egg. So they recommended a drink called Bird Rights, and it looks like a tiki drink. It's bourbon, pot still rum, lime, coconut syrup, chocolate bitters, and a dash of cream. Like, it is a great way to explore and dive into cocktails. But also, if you're just like tired of what you normally drink, or you don't particularly like the recipe you have been using,
Yeah.
these are awesome. They're made by the like world-class bartenders. A lot of them are Sam Ross recipes, and he's at Attaboy, New York City, which is one of the premier cocktail lounges. So you can get in here, and it even has recipes for all the different syrups they'll call for, like everything from a ginger syrup to anything else.
That's cool.
And,
Well, I just downloaded it,
it's
so
kind
I'll play
of
around with that too.
It's everything you want. Fantastic app. But if you ever in Nashville, there's an Attaboy there, and you kind of go through that, I feel like, process with them. Like, I went in there one time, I said, I like whiskey and I want it to be smoky. Like, I want to drink a campfire. And they basically prescribe a cocktail to you, and I've never had them be wrong.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of smoky too, I saw a news article this week that I believe Chattanooga Whiskey Company is coming out with a triple peat.
I didn't see that.
So sounds like something we need to try.
Oh, I would love to. And luckily, we know a guy that's crazy enough to go down to Chattanooga to just get a Chattanooga whiskey release.
Shout out Dr. J.
Shout out Dr. J.
Our wonderful new table is brought to you by Deadwood Live. That's D-E-D Wood Live. Go check them out on Facebook and see what Derek can do for you. From bars to tabletops to a giant podcast table, they specialize in making super high quality furniture from live edge woods and reused barrels. So reach out to them on Facebook and see what they can do for you.
Hey, I saw something on Dirk's post.
Oh yeah.
He said that the French lick stuff might be coming in next week.
Yep.
Is it here?
No,
Okay.
no, but it it is at Johnson Brothers, and they're supposed to deliver on their next delivery date,
Wow.
which could be Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Dirk and I are gonna do hopefully a release event here, but I'm not gonna wait to start selling it because it could be a couple weeks before we're able to do that.
Yeah.
Also,
Also,
Elijah Craig
Okay.
is gonna be, if it's not already in Southern Glazer's hands, it will be by Monday, which means it could deliver next week as well.
Oh my god.
It might be.
Is your stock room ready for all of this?
Yes, it is.
Really?
Because unfortunately, our 120 bottles turned into 72. Elijah Craig.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, but they ended up with only 72 bottles out of that barrel.
And we dropped proof?
So 122. It's 122 proof still, yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what they did. I don't know if maybe that barrel was a lot lower than we thought when we tried it.
That sounds sketchy. That's all I'm
It does
saying.
mean, hey, as long as it tastes good,
I'm
that's
sure it
okay.
will.
Because my
We're
thought
gonna
is
go
if we
through
get
that so quick.
but then that means I can hit up Brent and say, "Hey, let's do another pick."
Yeah.
And maybe we
that
get
was-
another pick going.
It was one of my favorite pick experiences.
That was so
I've had.
fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
And
get
that
that one.
burger joint that we went to,
Oh,
fantastic.
it was.
And reasonably priced.
Nothing special. But everything tasted
Okay.
delicious.
After you've drank quite a bit, is very special.
Well, but I mean, it wasn't like this high end place. It was just
Oh,
a
no.
burger place we sat on picnic tables out in the back,
drank a
almost
Blue
back
Moon
alley,
or
you know.
or a Kentucky bourbon barrel beer
Yeah.
while you're eating.
It was, but it was a really
So
good burger.
good. Yeah, and that like back alley seating there. I forget what it was. I forget what the. It might have just been called Bardstown Burger or
I
something.
think it
like
was.
that.
I think it was. Yeah, there's
Super
like-
reasonably priced, great smash burgers.
Oh, they were fantastic smash burgers. Back to talking food talk with Isaiah and Rob.
I still don't have a stinger for that, man. But
You just need to get some fat kid.
that's my thing. I keep thinking about making a stinger for it, but I hate mouth noise.
Me too.
Like it just drives me nuts. There's another cigar podcast where the guys used to eat things on
Oh,
there
gosh.
and not mute their microphone or do anything.
It is triggering to a lot of
And
people.
I mean, just imagine Rob and I sitting here chewing gum the entire show.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's freaking disgusting. I hate it.
I hate it. I hate it. Oh, I'm not hating this pairing, man. This cigar, it's
I
kind
love
of
this
mellowing out a
cigar.
little bit right now. It's burning really well. I mean, I had to relight it because that was me, not the cigar.
I'm impressed with the burn line too. Like being a
Yeah.
barber pole, normally you expect it to run up some of the different wrappers, but I have not had issues with that whatsoever. I did relight, but that's because I got to talking about
Yeah.
a Netflix show.
I'll tell you, the retrohale is really nice because when you first blow the smoke out, it's pretty mild, and then the pepper builds. And my is yours pretty peppery?
Jesus.
So yours is definitely a lot stronger than mine.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to smoke one of those
Yeah,
then.
you should. You'd love it. I have not had a retro hail that spicy since the original test blend.
Here, let's trade.
Habano.
No, I'm just kidding.
Give it a shot. Yeah, no, like it's a zinger through your nose.
That's cool.
But it's really good.
It is both of these. This one is fantastic too. So
Yeah.
definitely, I'd say this is more medium to medium full. That one sounds like it's more full.
Oh, it is more.
So I wonder if the other one is more, mild to medium. Maybe they have 3 different iterations in that box.
Yeah, could be. I got a fence installed this week in my
I
backyard.
saw that, man. I saw that
It's cool,
picture. That's
yeah.
congratulations,
Yeah, no,
man.
It's great.
Just got one more of those, honeydew things out of the way.
Yeah. No, I mean it's been fantastic. My dog Kitty, he loves it, and it was really funny because I came out Thursday when it had been installed, And the Xfinity guy was yelling at this crew of the Hispanic people,
Yeah.
and only one of which, the foreman, spoke any English. He's out there ripping them a new one, telling them that their auger broke this cable, all this and that. And I went over and laid into him because that's just, I mean, first of all, you're just mad because you have to work today.
Yeah.
Like the cable that they supposedly cut, which
Was
turns
not
out
marked.
they didn't,
Yep.
was not marked. And he was laying into them like they could fix it. And the foreman actually came and got me because he was yelling at him. And I said, "Hey, dude, what is going on here? These dudes don't even know what's going on. Like,
Yeah. You're yelling at people
yelling
that
at
can't
them
speak your
in
language.
English is not doing anything. Also, it's not getting it fixed any quicker.
Right. Right.
It's just completely rude. A lot of people don't have respect for people that don't speak English, and
No.
you're a terrible person for that because these guys can put up a fence better and faster than I could.
Yep.
Probably you as well.
Yeah.
They got my entire fence done in an 8-hour workday.
Oh, jeez.
Amazing. And
Wow.
it looks fantastic. Like it's wonderful. But turns out he was telling me, yeah, when they run that auger to dig the hole for the fence, like they cut the cable. And I said, no, man, they didn't auger over there. They dug those holes by hand because they knew that there was your stuff in the ground nearby.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm telling you. I said, I'm telling you, I got a security camera. I can show you. Like, this is not on them. So he gets to digging up one of the posts where he decided that the break was. And he realized that it was just putting enough pressure on this main line that it shorted out. And I was like, okay, so let's think about this here. Like, first of all, that cable that you bury in the ground like 3 inches under because you can't be bothered to put it any deeper is somehow a main line. And
Wow.
when they put the posts in, it shut down the entire rest of my street service for Xfinity. But it's a black cable in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, that's on you.
Yeah.
I don't even care. He was like, well, somebody's going to get a bill for this. I said, you better not bill me because I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
He was like, don't you have Xfinity? I said, yeah. I call a lawyer before I pay that.
Yeah.
Just rude, man. Just rude.
They're both smoking really great right now.
Yeah. I just smoked the
Those were
2022
almost
last
out
night.
of
Yeah.
the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
smoked
Will's
the
in the house.
2022 Las Calaveras last night, and it's fantastic. I finally broke open the box because I had a full box of the Lonsdale in my humidor.
Yeah.
So I broke it open and have been smoking those. They're so good, so good. But yeah, I guess moral of the story is the Xfinity technicians don't want to work, and they'll blame everybody else on a problem. But hey.
And it sounds like it was a problem they created because it wasn't marked.
It wasn't marked.
So if it's not marked, how's the guy's going to know?
Well, and the thing is, it's like, I don't even care if it was marked and they hit it. It wasn't, first of all. But if it was, I would still handle it the same way.
Yeah.
It's like the people that freak out when there's a leak in the ceiling of their house. It's like, what are you freaking out? Like, what does that help you?
Right.
It doesn't. Just get it done. Get it fixed.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like the guy that gets pissed off at Square for going down and gets freaked out and that sends out a tweet. Wait, never mind.
That's different.
That's totally different.
Totally
different.
I mean, that's completely out of your control. But it's like, this dude's here to fix it and spent the first 20 minutes yelling at this crew that couldn't do anything about it. 20 minutes is probably an exaggeration, but it was still a substantial amount of time that could have had the other people's Xfinity service fixed quicker.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's something else that happened this last week. Will Breeden and I and Steve Strabbing, which Steve is Indiana Small Batch, and another crew of people went down to Bourbon 30 in Lexington. And we were going down mainly to go down with Steve to help blend, because Bourbon 30 is an experience where they have a lot of barrels from MGP. They had some from Green River. I think they're going to be doing similar things to what Drew's doing on having other sourced whiskeys. And basically, you go down there and you get to blend your own bottles,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool because we really learned a lot. One of the things we learned pretty quickly is like we tasted through, I don't know, probably 20 barrels. And so we were like, okay, I
So
really
were
like
you
these
pulling
four.
straight from the barrels?
Yeah,
or
we
did
were
they-
thieving our own. We were
Oh,
just
wow.
doing, yeah. And so, I mean, the first time I tried to blend something, and Will as well, we pulled from like our favorite 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
Huh.
And so I ended up going back to 3 that I really felt that were super unique. And then a 4th one to add a spice level to it. And then as I was talking to Aaron, shout out to Aaron. Aaron is amazing. That dude is a blender extraordinaire, man. He knows
Yeah.
what the hell he's doing. And I asked him, I'm like, so, I'm putting things together that I kind of like, and I'm adding the spice level. I was like, my brain tells me right now that maybe I should pick one of the ones I didn't like and see how he blends. He said, that's exactly how we do it. And I'm like, okay, so I picked the one I liked the least
Yeah.
and added that to the blend, made it pop.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, that was
What did
great.
you like? It just wasn't a special whiskey, or it was very one note, or
It was one that was not unique. It was like there was
Yeah.
3 or 4 barrels that were very similar. And there was one that I would have never picked as part of it because it wasn't anything special.
yeah,
I mean, there was one that had a banana note that I loved. That's in my blend. And then Will, his is a little spicier. His is definitely leaning more towards some of those rye notes.
yeah,
So mine I actually I had, because we're now sponsors of the Indy Fuel. I just had the red and yellow wax put on top and just put on there "Let's Go Fuel" on the label. Will went another step with that. Will decided to pick, because he's a Wolverine fan, but he also is a Michigan grad.
yeah.
And so he called his cocky Wolverine juice.
There you go.
And his wife is an Ohio State grad, so he's told her she has to drink it, and she's like, "I will spit that shit out." So it's gonna be
Becky,
fun days.
you'll
at the-
be fine. He'll
fun
just sneak it
days.
in your cup after you're drunk.
Yeah. So we're excited, but you never know how once it marries for a little while how it's going to turn out. But it was a fun experience. It's one you can do. You can go down
So
there
when you
as
were
a
blending
consumer.
there, were you just like after you picked which ones you wanted? Are you blending equal proportions, or are you doing?
Initially, I did.
Okay.
And then basically, with the blend I ended up doing was like I ended up having 4 barrels I picked from, and I had 40% on 2 and 10% on 2.
Yeah,
And that was where Aaron's knowledge came in to get where we want to go, is because he was the one coming up with percentages too. Will's, I think, ended up having maybe 6 barrels he picked from.
yeah,
He had everything down to like a 7% on one. But you're taking the tubes out there and you're measuring it yourself and doing stuff. It was a lot of fun.
yeah.
Like I said, as a consumer, you can go down there and do the entire experience. Right now, they're in about a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot space. That's just a beat up old space. But they're moving into a 25,000 square foot space here soon.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to be a whole new experience. So it's definitely a fun thing to do. It's not cheap. I mean, if you're going down there to do the whole experience and bottle your own, I think you pay $180 for that one bottle and your experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's a lower cost if you get more bottles blended for you.
Yeah.
So fun experience, definitely a really fun day. And we drank a lot of whiskey.
There's
That was
quite
good
a
day.
few experiences like that now. I remember originally Bourbon 30 was primarily MGP juice, so it's interesting
And it still is
for me
primarily.
to hear that they're getting Green River stuff, but actually a lot of people are getting Green River right now.
And Green River is in mine and Will's, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's Kentucky. I forget who just bought Green River, but I think let me look it up.
Well, it's speaking of Green River, we have a tasting when this goes live, tasting tomorrow on Tuesday here
Oh.
at Final Third.
So that's why their stuff is being sourced to everyone. They were bought out by Bardstown Bourbon Company. Yeah.
So this is the unique thing about Bourbon 30. So Bourbon 30 bought a property next door to Buffalo Trace.
Oh, yeah?
Literally, you can see each other.
So did
from-
you go and get a Blanton's?
No, but it's kind of funny because you can't because they're going to be getting opportunities of getting a lot more people stopping in there when you hit Buffalo Trace. You're like, I don't have enough time to go to another distillery. Oh, look, let's go check them out.
Yeah.
They're going to get so much business.
I mean, and honestly, I'm firing shots here, but the tater crowd that shows up at Buffalo Trace would love to blend their own bourbon.
oh yeah,
Like,
oh yeah.
oh, I blended this in Kentucky.
Well, and that's the thing too. If they're next door to Buffalo Trace, there's no reason in the world why they shouldn't be able to get some Buffalo Trace barrels if they
Oh,
sell barrels like that.
They don't.
oh, they don't. Okay,
No.
I would think.
I
as a
mean,
neighbor, be a good neighbor and give them some. Come on, Buffalo Trace. I know you're listening to
No,
this.
there's-
Give them some barrels.
It's Sazerac brand. Sazerac brand only takes care of
Oh,
other
that's right.
Sazerac
They don't speak.
brands.
They don't speak English anyway, so they can't understand what we're saying anyway. I'm just. I'm
That's
kidding.
probably more true than we'd like to believe.
Oh, I know it is.
But I was actually shocked seeing more bean barrels coming on to the open market for sourcing, and also Heaven Hill. The interesting thing is all these brands picked up production during COVID and are still doing it, but now they're putting their barrels out for other people that are sourcing. So I don't
Yeah.
know if they just saw that there's a market open up for that where they can just not have to sit on a barrel anymore, or if they're predicting the fact that, hey, this 6-year-old barrel that we're letting go of, we'll probably make more money off of it now than we will at 8 years. You know, like,
Possibly.
is there a crash coming?
Who knows?
And
I mean, you wouldn't think so. Looking at places like Heaven Hill and Buffalo Trace and all these places that just have, and Beam has rick houses upon rick houses upon rick houses with millions of barrels out there. You're like, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be coming. I think what Alan said though really did make a lot of sense, and we've talked about it, so we won't go into depth again. But the small guys.
and if you haven't listened to that show, listen to it.
That would be
There's
a good
lot
one.
of good information on it.
Yeah, I mean, the small guys are going to be more destination spots. They're not going away.
Yeah.
The big guys are not going away. It's going to be those middle tier ones that are going to have a little harder time because they're trying to work in the world of the big guys, but they're still almost in the world of the small guys. So they're in a middle ground that really isn't a good foothold.
Well, and I really see that even becoming a plus for a distributor, because you have distributors like RNDC, Republic National. Oh gosh, what is it?
distributing
Distributing company,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which if you don't know, here's a quick rundown of the 3-tier system, because this is Prohibition era law that is still staying around. A bourbon has to go from a distillery, the producer, to a distributor,
Yep.
and then onto on-premise, which is a like a bar or a
Yep.
lounge or something like that.
Or liquor store.
Or no, retail is different than on-premise.
I mean, it still has to go through a distributor.
No, yeah. So it ends up either in a retail establishment or an on-premise establishment, and a lot of times people will set aside bottles either way. Especially on more of the allocated releases, you'll see a certain portion of those being set aside for on-premise sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything has to follow that route, unless you're in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
And in Indiana, you can go straight from the distillery floor, from the bottling floor, out to your gift shop.
Yeah.
But you can't go from gift shop to retail establishment or anything like that.
No.
You still need a distributor.
So basically, and I know you kind of said it, but it's as simple as this: Heaven Hill has to distribute their product to the distributor and bring it back just to sell it at Heaven Hill, which is about the dumbest rule I've ever heard. But that's a Kentucky law.
yeah, I think that may have changed in the past year.
I hope so, because that makes absolutely no sense.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the way it was for many, many years. And Kentucky has finally started letting up on some of those things, just because, hey, your export is bourbon. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And there's enough places, like enough distilleries being put in, everything like that, that you should probably loosen up some of your tax laws. I know they did get rid of the resting barrel tax,
Yes.
which was a huge deal.
That's a huge, I mean, because what you had wasn't a Buffalo Trace that was building rick houses in southern Indiana.
I mean, they're still building them.
Oh, yeah, but now they don't have to.
Yeah.
They were doing that to save that resting tax. Now
So-
they don't have to, so they can rest those back in Kentucky and have it all there.
So the resting barrel tax was a yearly tax on spirits that are aging. So basically, your Heaven Hill 17 would have been taxed 17 tax years.
Yeah, yeah. And who know? I don't know how much that is, but that does go into effect of how reason why these bottle prices are so high.
Yeah.
If they have to pay, even if it's just a couple dollars a bottle, 17 years, you're talking there's $40
Yeah.
already before you even get to the fact that it's 17 years old.
Well, and on the other end of that, like these distilleries are not going out and measuring barrel for barrel what's in there. So they're being taxed on a barrel. If you had a short barrel, it was still being taxed the same amount as a completely full barrel, and it could have had enough for 2 bottles in it.
Right.
You know, it just accidentally leaked and nobody caught it.
Well, and that's the thing. Like we're talking about this Elijah Craig barrel coming. When we tasted it, we thieved the whiskey out of there and tried it.
It was low when we did it.
It maybe it only did have 72 bottles, and I don't know.
I don't believe it.
We were told that they thought it'd be about 120, but honestly, I wonder if that's just because they think, oh, it's probably close to half barrel. We'll just call it that. I don't know. They could, again, conspiracy theory hour again. They could be doing it because they're trying to keep some of this juice to blend for something special down the road. Who knows? Or they're going to sell that in the gift shop as their bottle, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, either way, it's an honor to
It is.
to get an Elijah Craig barrel proof pick, and
100%.
we're very thankful for it.
Yes.
We really are. It is definitely an interesting thing to only be getting 70 some bottles out of it.
I was a little disappointed, but it is what it is.
I bet Lisa's happy.
Lisa's happy. Yes. The checkbook's not going to scream at us this week as much as what it would have if we had 120 bottles coming.
Well, after Square being out and everything.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't even take me down there again.
What, you don't want to be viral again?
No.
No?
I did see, and I think you've been talking a little bit about Jack Daniels,
Yeah.
and they've been releasing a lot of their ryes and stuff. They did release the Bottle and Bond rye
I saw
this
that
last week too.
Yeah.
So I'd be anxious to try it, see how good it is. I'm assuming it'll probably be coming onto the market here soon. Hopefully, it's not another freaking allocated bottle, but
I think it's going to roll out about like the triple mash and the bond.
I think so too. Which we were able to get those.
It's in those same bottle styles. I did see somebody on secondary post one that was in a box, which made me a little bit nervous about that. But I know
Bottle and Bond.
yeah,
Really?
They had a box for it. So, sometimes on secondary, people will make extra packaging just to put the bottle price higher. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah.
But I'll be interested to try it because their regular release rye that they put out is fantastic. The regular release single barrel ryes are fantastic, and as you heard on the last show, the now regular release single barrel proof rye is amazing.
It is. It is.
And I am happy to see them diving into the world of ryes.
Yeah.
And like really embracing it. That was, I think I can say this. Their rye is what made them big again. Their heritage release that came out in 2020, which was their single barrel proof rye. That's their big limited edition, their heritage release. That blew up the brand again. And it paved the way for stuff like Coy Hill.
Yeah.
Last year they came out with a twice barreled single
Yeah.
malt that performed pretty poorly.
Yeah.
But then this year they were like, hey, let's give the people what they want. Let's do a double oaked rye.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's doing well again.
Yep. Yep. Well, and even when they released the triple mash and the bonded did okay.
Yeah.
It's good. Now, I mean, it's not as good as the single barrels. It's way better than the old number 7, and it's also a good price point. The triple mash was special, and that really seemed to do well too. Because I mean, they ran out of that really fast.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see some stuff, some forward thinking with Jack now. And you know what? I mean, the sky's the limit for them. Maybe they'll do Amberana next.
Could you imagine bananas and cinnamon?
Cinnamon. Oh God,
Oh,
no!
my gosh.
Please don't.
So, another
Can we
news-
delete that part?
No, we're not deleting it.
Dang it, that sucks.
In other news, all of everybody that I know didn't win the right to buy a birthday bourbon or a Four Roses limited edition this year. Who's
Everybody got the
surprised?
same email. Sorry, you've not
Yeah.
been selected.
And,
Please buy our products.
The crazy thing is with both of those emails is they're like, but don't worry, they'll be going out to stores near you and you'll have another chance. It's like,
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, you
No,
won't.
you won't. Your best chance is getting it at the distillery through
Yep.
their online lottery.
Yeah.
I know some people do win it. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people that enter into those.
Probably hundreds of thousands, if not.
Oh, I would. Yeah. I mean, especially with the birthday bourbon.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well, it was like the Buffalo Trace when they did the barrel pick choice. They were putting out the barrel picks on lottery or whatever.
yeah.
We knew of no one that won that either.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean,
I
we
still
know a
haven't.
lot of. I would say, we don't know it hundreds of thousands of people, but we know a lot of people. And I have heard of nobody in Indiana that won any of these things.
Yeah.
Yet. Now,
Yet.
if you did, good for you. Let us know.
If you
bring
did,
in a pour for us to try.
Your name is probably Ray.
Beam.
Your name is probably Ray, and you own the Roll In.
But he should,
Yeah.
because guys like that have been have been trying to get him or have done them for years and years and years and years.
He
You get
has
more
been
opportunities.
doing picks since Antique 107
Yeah.
was in a screw top.
Yeah.
And
Honestly, you should get more shots, and they do. You every year. Like if you start signing in for it now, every year they take into account that you've done it multiple years, and you get more chances.
yeah.
Guys that have 50 chances obviously have a lot better chance than someone like me that got one.
The other thing that's really smart about Ray's model is his location, and people will say that's the worst part of his shop. That dude can peddle Fireball and Wheatley vodka all day long.
So you can get whatever he wants.
He can.
Yep.
And most of his clientele, that's what he buys. But then he's able to cater to the bourbon market and
Yep.
get these picks in. And what he's been doing recently, I have no qualms with. He's been running, he'll do half of the barrel to the top such number customers, and then
Yeah.
the other half to random people that have signed up and have bought something within a certain period.
Right.
He wants it to go to people that have supported the shop, and
I have no problem with that.
I don't either.
I know a lot of people do because they're the one guy that wants the one shot because they bought one bottle there at some point.
Yeah.
But you know what? Bottom line is, I mean, just like here, our top customers, they get special treatment occasionally,
Yeah.
It's like they
As
should.
they should.
They should. I mean, it's all small business, so we're in your corner, Ray.
Yeah, we are.
Can I get some bottles, Ray?
Ray's
a good dude.
Ray is such a good
He's
guy.
also a cigar smoker like us.
Yeah. We should have him on the show sometime.
We should. Maybe we ought to go do a show down there at Rural Inn in the bar area sometime.
Yeah.
Do you know him well enough to reach out to him? Okay, I'll see if I can.
You probably do better since
we have a
you're
shop.
smoked
Yeah,
it.
I'll talk to him too. I'll see if we can get him on the show. That'd be fun.
It,
just
it
to
would
hear
be
his-
cool to just hear a liquor store owner's take on the bourbon game.
Yeah.
Hear his qualms with bourbon bros.
Yeah.
And
And as many picks and stuff as he has done
Yeah.
throughout the years, I'm sure he's got a lot of the inside scoop on some brands out there too, because everyone talks. But
Well,
the only
it-
way you're getting to talk is if you talk to the right people, and he's talking to those right people all the time. So
well, and he also does a great job of staying on the front end of these up and coming brands. Mm-hmm. He was the first store in the city where I found Starlight.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. He had a couple single barrel picks in from them, and I thought they were special at the time, and I drank them up.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, he definitely has a bourbon palate, and he also has a great watch of what's going on in the market,
Yeah, he does.
and he takes care of the people that take care of him.
Yeah.
That's why he'll always say, if you're a friend of the rural inn, the rural inn will be a friend to you.
Yeah.
Like,
And if you go in there, I mean, it's not, I mean, it's what you would expect of a liquor store on rural in downtown Indy.
yeah.
But
I mean,
if you walk
I'm honestly
in,
surprised there's no bulletproof glass
I
for
kind of
the
am
cash
too.
register.
I will say though, when you walk in and you walk to the right and you go in the corner there, you'll probably see at any given time 20 picks he's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to get some special stuff there, even if you're not getting the lot Bs and stuff like that. You're still going
Yeah.
to find some special stuff there. I mean, that's where he had that oily mess
The funniest thing, yeah, that oily mess
from
was
Heaven's Door. That
fantastic.
was delicious,
Yeah.
man.
The funniest thing to me about him is how just straight up he'll be about the allocated bourbons. I was hanging out with him one day in the bar, and he probably doesn't even remember this, but because I was with a bunch of regulars and got invited to this. But he was, just to like piss him off, he told everyone how he enjoys his George T. Stagg. And what he said is, I get my rocks glass, I go over to the fridge, fill it up with crushed ice, and then I pour George T. Stagg on it. And he was like, the first sip was how they intended it to be. The rest of the way down, it's way better.
That's
And I was
hilarious.
cracking up at that because, yeah, it's hot. It can drink hot.
I still got a little cigar left. You still got some left too?
A little bit.
So give me a little bit. I'll take a little bit more if you don't mind.
Yeah. This Circle City's
Beer
great.
me, Marge.
Marge?
Never-
Simpsons reference?
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, Simpsons.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm anxious to see how our event goes tonight. You know, hopefully you were able to come out to the event because we got a bunch of boxes of their stuff. We always do our great deal. If you ever come to an event here, and if you haven't been to an event, our events really do well. We do 20% off box prices, which is a really good discount on a box. But you also get free cigars that they give away along with it, plus whatever other swag
Yeah.
they bring.
And you get the opportunity to buy these event-only
Yes,
cigars.
and more brands are doing that. I mean, Aladino does that. Crowned Heads does that. These guys do it. So it's fun to do these events like that, but it's also kind of a unique opportunity to get together and try some new stuff. I
Yeah,
mean,
it is.
we would have never tried this otherwise, and these things are delicious.
No, I've never seen these in a store.
No, well, you can't get them in a store; they're only at events.
I have seen them on some of the cigar secondary groups because people will pay good money for them.
Yeah.
The Black Label fans will.
And again, these are not cheap cigars. These are over $20 each.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, they're worth it. I mean, I wouldn't be buying these every day, but you know, as a nice celebratory stick, this is delicious.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is.
So, you're getting married this weekend.
I am.
So when are you doing the honeymoon? Are you doing the thing that everyone's doing now, where you're waiting for the honeymoon a little later in the year? Or?
We are waiting, but mostly it's because I've started grad school.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go the second week. Maybe it's the third week in October. just because I don't want to have to worry about any schoolwork.
Where are you
while I'm on
heading
the
to?
honeymoon. St. Lucia. It's in the
Okay.
Caribbean.
Yeah,
So,
nice,
yeah.
nice. Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I'm
And
excited for you.
I will pack a humidor full, and I made sure that the room has a balcony on it and is smoking friendly.
Well, if you want to, grab my my big case,
I might.
and you can throw in as many as you need in that.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to worry about taking 2 or 3. Because
I can't imagine the resort cigars will be any good.
Yeah, you might do some research now, find out if there's a cigar shop close by somewhere.
If there is,
St.
I'll still
Lucia-
stop by. But
St. Lucia-
seems like a pretty small.
It is small, but I wonder who's the controlling government of St. Lucia.
I don't know.
Because USA and Mexico both do the same thing. They will not do any trade with Cuba. So
Yeah.
if you're in Mexico getting Cuban cigars, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry to say that. I know some people get butthurt when I say that, but it's true. If you are getting Cubans, they're illegal. They're just like they're illegal here. I don't know about St. Lucia. You might be able to get some there. Who
I
knows?
might be able to.
Not
and
that I care. I mean, one out of every 100 Cubans I've ever tried have been good. So
I would probably bring back a 5-pack and sit on it for a long time.
but the problem with buying Cubans right now is they're so freaking overpriced. It's
I know.
almost not. I mean, a 5-pack might cost you $300.
You're on a honeymoon.
Yeah, but you're on a honeymoon. You're already married.
Yeah.
Wife's not letting you spend
Yeah, it's
$300
true.
on 5
It's true.
cigars.
Yeah, I could spend $300 and get a box of Las Seis.
You could spend $300 and buy a bottle of sweet corn bourbon. We won't go there again.
That sounds amazing. I'd love to do that. I actually, that first bottle.
Oh,
that-
still freaking
that,
delicious.
Corey shared with us, and then you.
I got a bottle of it. Yeah.
That is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones that I have tasted,
They were good. They were not as special as that first
they
one.
were $100 good.
Yeah. They might have been as
Presentation
good.
made it $150.
They might have been as good as the price of the bottle and bond, which is definitely not worth the price.
Yeah.
But yeah, $325 is a little salty for something that wasn't as good as your first one.
It really is rough.
But we beat that dead, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we talked about it with Eric. You guys know the way it goes around here. We're not gonna lie to you. But yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. So I will throw this out there. You know, if we say something, I mean, just like, you know, we love the guys at Starlight. We love some of the stuff they're doing.
I
but
love a
we
lot of the
also
stuff they're doing.
we also complain about some of the stuff they're doing. You know,
and the only
same
reason I
with
feel
any-
right in doing it is because I still support the brand.
right, and you're exactly. But if
I have a Starlight
ever,
barrel head hanging up in my house.
if we ever say something, you know, on here, and you are a distiller of that distillery, and you want to set us right, give us a call, man. We'd love to have you on the show and talk
Yeah.
about it. Maybe you can clear it.
we
Maybe
can do call in.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I would love that because we want to present the correct information. If we're saying something that's not true or just
Yeah.
because it's our opinion doesn't mean it's right, I'd love to hear people talk
set
about
it
that.
straight. Tell us what your thought process is behind it.
Yeah.
And,
Now, I
you know-
will say one thing. Tell us what you think, but if you're telling us some fibs, we do have farmers and distillers and stuff that we know real well that are the ones that have set us straight on some of this stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, it is one of those things. Every time you go to a distillery, no matter where you go, and I would say there's only been maybe 1 or 2 I've ever gone to that didn't do this. They're the first at doing something. And bottom line is 99.9% of them were never the first at doing any of that stuff. But it's a nice selling
it's
point.
Such a rich tradition that just claiming that is, I mean, you can't prove it. You just can't.
And that's why people say it, because you can't prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is what it is. You know, I think whiskey should stand for itself if it tastes good. I don't care if you're the first one to ever do it. I don't care if you're the 10,000th person to do it. If it tastes good, I'll buy your product.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the way it should be.
You ready to wrap this thing up, Rob?
Yeah, whenever, man.
Okay. I don't think.
No, Calvin texted me. He's getting food before he comes, so he's not gonna be here on
okay.
time.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
man.
So nothing else.
I don't think so. We're
All right,
gonna be recording again on Tuesday. You said.
Yeah, because we're gonna give Isaiah his actual wedding weekend off.
Yeah, and actually, I think Isaiah Long's gonna be on the show with us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he'll be
Awesome.
in town, so it'll be cool. So
Yeah.
you can find me on Instagram at the Whiskey Pastor.
And I'm at Final Third Cigar
What are
So-
you on X in case
on
everybody
X.
wants to follow?
Actually, it's at R Boyland.
our Boylan.
I've also got at Final Third Cigar on there too, but actually all the contacts have been on at R Boyland. So if you want to post to me on X, let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.